All right. P.S. Good Morning, episode number 8.
Wow.
Yeah, number 8. And
I can't believe it. 8.
yeah, it's we're gonna have so many in our library in no time that you guys can start binge watching us. You know what I mean? Like, and just go from one episode to the next episode, and just kind of see the progression of how things evolve and
where
things
we're
like that.
from like barely hearing us to now hearing us and now monitoring.
I know it's been a lot quicker for me, especially with when we get the audio a lot better. It's a lot quicker for me to just go in, check it, and then okay, it's good, and then I just kind of add the title and been upgrading it.
Yeah.
I think eventually, I know I just transitioned to a new job and stuff, but I might have a little bit more time to do a little bit more editing. But when we have like shows that are like an hour long, I mean, it would take quite a bit of time to go through all of it to really add effects to make it more interesting. But for the most part, you might see a little bit in the beginning, and then after about 10 or 15 minutes, and you won't see any more effects. That's kind of how it is.
It's funny because like I like the effects that you have. It's like especially that black and white of the guy peeking over the top. I thought
stuff like that.
That's funny.
But
so cool.
So topics. I know that. Well, you know what's cool about today? It's kind of a joke, but it's 10-4.
10-4.
Over and out.
10-4.
So that's how we'll probably sign off today. P.S. Good morning. 10-4. Over and out.
Roger.
So,
that's actually a misnomer.
Is it?
Over and out it's totally wrong, because
you don't even have to say it, right?
Well, no, because like when you say over, that means you're done talking, and then the other person can speak.
Oh, yeah. But when you say over,
when you say over and out, that means
completely done.
Yeah, but really you don't have the authority unless if you started the conversation. You can say out, which means you just say out because then you're done.
Yeah.
But then you say over and out, you just kind of diss the other person. You're like,
this whole time, people have just been unintentionally dissing people because they just think that's part of the phrase. You know what I mean?
I mean, because it's been carried on. I think somebody made a mistake back in the day, like in the
in
old
a movie
movies.
maybe.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, that sounds good. Over and out.
Yeah, because in movies you got actors that don't even know anything about, but they're doing their best, and then they got a script that they're reading.
Yeah.
And that guy may not know much about the industry either.
Yeah.
But over and out sounds cool.
Yeah,
so
over and out. Over and out.
Yeah. What other type of things do you think have you heard that are kind of like misleading people that aren't actually correct?
I have to think about that because it's like there are a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. There's probably, like if we did like a Google search, there's probably a whole list of stuff. Especially like if you do one on like music lyrics.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like where people have been singing the wrong
lyrics. Over and over again.
Over and over again
because somebody made a mistake.
Like it, right? I mean, it sounds like that's what the artist is saying, and then when they actually read it on paper, like, oh, I didn't know.
Wow, that's like
yeah.
Like I think there was one song by Fleetwood Mac. I just kept on, saying my own lyrics and not thinking it was my own lyrics. Is what I heard.
Or sometimes the newer made-up lyrics are better than the old ones, so people like to use that one because it's funnier. Like
that's hilarious.
Creedence Clearwater. There's a bathroom on the right. That one song.
There's a bathroom on the right.
Yeah, everybody likes that lyric a lot better. So then it just evolves and people forget what it originally is. But,
wouldn't it be funny though if you actually made songs with like what was thought instead of like how it should have ended? Right. It should be how the lyrics should have been.
That could be a whole episode and channel itself.
Oh
right?
yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
you
that
just
would
start
just be
singing
so
and stuff, do like the karaoke, and then just kind of make your own lyrics.
Have a game show on it. What should have it been, or what did it turn into?
That sounds like a great. Actually, that sounds
would be
like
very entertaining.
Yeah, it would be very entertaining.
So very cool. Throughout history, there's just so many things like that, and even like today, there's just so many things that are just mind blowing. That like I didn't know that was, for there's like one thing that like there's all these things that people come up with that is like, man, makes your life easier. Like,
Yeah.
for example, a simple one like a pop can, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to use a straw with a pop can, someone just said, "Yo, just turn around the tab and stick the straw through the tab." I've never knew to do that.
What, you could streak it? Oh, just
You know
turn
what
it
I mean?
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like little things
Yeah.
like that that are already built into a product that was it really intent for that, or that just somebody just do that one day and said that's what it's for.
Like you just turned it around and
Yeah.
said, "Oh, that's a good way to put the straw
Oh,
in there."
this company's so clever. They
Oh,
got this
turn
built
the
in this
tab
whole
around.
time, you know. But really, they maybe didn't. But somebody just
No,
did
'cause
that, and it turned into it.
Because some of them don't have a hole.
Oh, you're right.
Some of them don't have a hole. Like, let's say, for example,
It's
like,
it's indentated
Yeah,
like it's
yes.
supposed to be, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really punched out.
well, no, because now they put like high, refreshing, just kind of a little thing on the tab.
Yeah, yeah.
But now it's like so some of them don't have a hole.
Okay, so I've been posting a lot of I've been transitioning to a job, so there's been a lot of training videos and things that I've been watching. So I've been seeing some corny videos and
Oh my
just some
gosh.
extreme forklift
We should
related
make our own.
videos.
We should make our own training videos.
Well, one of my buddies we were just talking about forklifts one day, and you know how we were talking about cameras, backup cameras and stuff.
yes, you need backup
Well,
cameras.
you know how you got forklifts that go up to different levels and
Yes,
heights.
yes.
And sometimes that takes quite a bit of time to get your pallet lined up and make sure your forks are straight and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Why can't they have a little camera kind of like back
Oh, that's
between the
perfect.
forks so that way it's like you could actually see without having to get so nervous that you are
Yeah.
lined up to go inside that pallet? I
Yeah,
think
that'd
that
be
would be
perfect.
pretty cool. And cameras and stuff like that, and a lot of the forklifts come with
I mean-
some sort of computer system and monitor nowadays.
Yeah.
When they go up into air for a safety aspect, it just switches
This is
over
perfect.
to the
Yeah.
the camera view.
So
and
when
then
you-
that you're lined up, and the chances of a pallet going in
Sure.
like off or something falling
Yeah.
over, you're a lot safer because now you got a camera between your forks.
Because I think also right
Mm-hmm.
that on the lines of that, I think you could even do it with number one. You can do it without a camera, but you can also do it where when the forks are starting to take the weight,
Uh-huh.
it can tell you that if the weight of the pallet exceeds its capability. Because that happens sometimes where you start to lift it up, and then it's so high that when you back up,
Yeah,
it suddenly
you're starting to teeter. A
yeah,
little
it
bit. It's
starts to,
scary.
and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have to back it out.
Mm-hmm.
So when you back it out, you can feel sometimes the forklift moving if it's too heavy.
That's a scary feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of
But-
nerve wracking.
But the other one is the sensor would line up. Let's say, for example, like it would have a green, right, a green bar, and so when you came and brought your forks, it would say yellow, 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 green,
Oh, right.
and then you can go straight,
That's some good technology that I
and
think.
then up, and then out.
Because not
If you
only
didn't want to do a
we-
camera.
Yeah, we talk about cars a lot, but forklifts are a vehicle at work that a lot of people use day in and day out.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, there's people at work that spend more time on their equipment at work
Yeah.
than they do their car.
Yeah.
So I just think that the forklift companies
Yeah.
need to evolve, need to get better, and
Absolutely, they
it's
can-
not just about the
Right.
vehicles on the road, but a lot. It just drives me nuts to see that in most of the warehouses that I've been in, no matter what type of industry it's in,
Yeah.
they seem to lease or rent the oldest forklifts and oldest
Yeah.
types of equipment when I feel like it should be better than that. I don't know. I just feel like companies are behind on making sure that their forklifts and stuff like that
Yeah, 'cause,
are
yeah.
good quality.
Because in most cases, right? So, especially if you're a company, you're thinking your product line, production, how to get it
Right.
out there, and usually the warehouse is probably the last thing you think of in improving, right?
Right.
And I think all the companies should take a cue or a clue from Amazon, because Amazon totally revamped the whole way things
Right.
are done, and it's the most modern equipment that you can find for their fulfillment.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm with that I think also what's important for forklifts is have that 360 safety thing where there's sensors around it. Because then when you're backing up and you're on the loading dock, you don't know how far you are to the edge sometimes. Because especially if you're taking a pallet and you're driving it to the truck, and the area is very confined.
It is very confined.
So when you turn the forklift and to get onto the truck, the problem is once you've unloaded it in the truck and you're backing out, you don't know, you can't see anything coming out of the truck.
A lot of times, yeah, you're going into a dark trailer and
Right. Or you're coming
there's
out
a
of a
drop-
dark trailer. Yeah.
There's
And
a
there's
drop
a
off.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Or
think there needs to be more done on the safety aspect of that, and there
I think
can
you're right.
be. It just seems like those are the things that are kind of often neglected because they're so focused on the other things
Yeah.
that thing supports. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder it'd be interesting to see, like, from now to take a look at what kind of product line is coming out for forklifts.
Yeah. It might.
And how many manufacturers are there of the forklifts?
Well,
Quite a few,
Crown
right?
and Raymond are the two major ones that
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of warehousers uses. But then you got some that don't even update or upgrade at all, and they got the old Nissan, forklifts
Yeah.
that they must be really good because they're still running. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just goes to show the
Or
quality of
are
those
we
things.
talking about, because there's
the
several
sit
types,
down,
right?
Yeah, there's the stand up, sit down, reach, dock pallets, and now they got the walkie rider. So
Yeah.
there's so many different things, but it's to my point again. Even with all those
Yeah.
different types of equipment, it seems like the oldest
Still in the
in the warehouse.
yeah.
Like every warehouse has that old special one that has a nickname that has been around since the beginning of time in the building. And like, oh yeah, there's old Betsy over there. Yeah, go ahead and get on that one. I mean, it's pretty slow, but it'll get you there. You know what I mean? It's like the last resort. Like,
Because there's several types, right? So there's the electric.
yeah, and a lot of companies are going to that
Yeah.
electric. Like a lot of places are eliminating their propane. A lot of
Yeah,
times
really?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got propane. What else is there? Or there aren't any gas ones because most of this confined areas, so they usually
there's
use
not-
propane
Yeah, it's just usually propane.
and electric.
And those give off a lot of heat a lot of times, the propane ones.
Yeah.
If ever stand behind one, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, I've been behind a few
Yeah.
of those.
But the electric is the only thing about the electric is you have to add water to the batteries every once.
You
in
know
a
what
while.
I'd like to see in a forklift? I'd like to see a swivel chair. Like literally, like have two steering wheels, right? One in the front, one in the back. Or I mean, have these like controls, right, or whatever, and just flip the chair around so you can actually see when you're coming backing out, as opposed to looking
And
over
this-
your
And when
shoulder.
the seat is in the other side
Yeah.
of position, the steering mechanism automatically switches to that one.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about how you're steering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're actually always steering the same way. You're
Yeah.
just facing this way.
Yeah,
so
other way.
basically, you're switching the rear, like the wheels on it.
I mean,
kinda
but mentally,
engage.
because when you're backing out, the controls are going to be opposite, because you won't have the steering in the back. You'll have only steering in the
Unless
front.
you somehow made it to lock and engage.
Yeah, so you
depending
lock
on
and
how you
engage
look.
just enough to get you where you need to go to get to, so that you have full view
Yeah.
of backing out into something rather than having to look back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a good rule too is to not use cell phones while you're operating your.
Well, I think isn't that already a rule?
But I don't know. I've seen so many videos where guys distracted and he's
yeah, they should be
he's-
written up.
He's like backing out and he falls. I mean that whole.
Get them out of here. You're not following
They're like,
the rules.
oh my gosh. I was watching one time where he had forgotten that the forks were up,
Oh yeah.
and a girl was riding a bicycle and
Yeah.
she got hit. Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
Yeah. That's just.
That shouldn't have
horrible.
happened.
No,
That's horrible.
that's what it's like. The first day of your training is to always like keep your forks low, keep your
Down,
forks low,
yeah.
down.
And when you park it, you just have to keep it
Yeah.
angled
Mhm.
down. So
So
I used to love driving the forklift though. I used to do it on my my college campus.
Oh,
I
yeah?
worked for the shipping and receiving in college, and I'd have these huge 1,000-pound pallets. I'd have to deliver it to
Huh.
like a department, like the sociology or whatever department, physical science, and just drive it around and just have that like
You know what I really like driving around in the
slow
warehouse?
traffic and everything.
The golf cart. Usually, some warehouses are so
Where's
big.
that like where in like yeah, but that's the best thing, right?
The golf cart.
If you are a college student, you should be able to work in like the admin section or wherever where you're driving the golf cart.
Golf carts
It
are
is
fun.
so awesome.
It is.
I mean, it was funny because, like me, like this is before, it's like you see a classmate, you're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And like, you want to hop on? I'll take you to class. It's like, seriously? It's like, yeah, hop on. Then you'd see somebody else and and then they start getting on top and they're just bouncing around in the back. That was fun.
I know we had
It's
a
good
couple
times.
services at KU campus, right? I thought it was neat that they had those rental bikes that were just all over the place that people could take and ride around campus.
Just
So,
do swipe your card and then go.
yeah, those are pretty neat. And most of the cities right now are adopting some sort of
Yeah, they're everywhere in
transportation like
Kansas
that.
City. Have you
Even
seen
the
those?
scooters, right? Yeah.
They're everywhere. They're like on the ground. They're in the back alleys. I mean, they're just
So
they're
I guess
everywhere.
it's not. I guess it's not such a bad place if you can have electric scooters and bikes laying around.
nice.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
want to
of-
actually get on a scooter one day and just maybe we should do that.
We should do
Get
it
like
and
the-
videotape it.
Go get your Hero GoPro, and
Yeah.
we'll just do a little scenic route of just
Like
going
just
on
to do
scooters.
Kansas City.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
We
Because
should
I
do
think
that.
there's a lot of businesses down there that I haven't even been to yet.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool just to go and
just to
maybe
cruise around.
get an inside scoop of some of the places and
Just
let people
go
know what
around.
the environment's like.
Yeah, because like when I saw one of our friends, Jeremy, perform downtown,
Okay.
it was really cool because I've never really walked around, that area of Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Just the Power and Light District. It's just very, very cool coming. Lots of activity, and the later it got, the more people there were. So it was kind of interesting.
So you could see the more importance of having something like that too.
Yeah.
As more people started going in and filling up the area.
Yeah, because some people don't want to wait for the your streetcar.
Mm-hmm.
They just hop on those things and start going.
Yeah. And do those have different spots that you can drop them off at? Like if you start
They're
at one,
supposed to be.
or do you actually have to kind of bring it back to the starting destination?
Well, because it works different with the bikes, right? Because the bikes, they charge you, right?
Yeah.
So you got to get to a point where there's a parking spot and you back it in, and then it registers that you turned it back in.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you don't, you'll be constantly charged.
So these electric scooters, then, do they have like a charging port that you just kind of plug it back into when you're done with it?
I
or
don't know
how do those
because
work?
because it's different with the scooters, right? Because I just see them lying around everywhere.
Yeah.
I think you can get one and drive it away, and I think the company or whatever has a way to locate them and charge them back up.
So that would be cool to have these solar hubs for those type of things. So that way it's like kind of self-maintained.
I mean, it'd be kinda
right?
cool.
It might cost more up front to get
Yeah.
them installed, but over time, you don't have to worry about charging these electric scooters because it's solar powered and it's not,
Yeah.
costing the city as much money.
I mean, I think you can put something in the back as like a solar panel, so it could charge itself up.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat.
Be kind of nice.
I could see it going into that really. I mean, you
I
talk
mean-
about green energy and
yeah.
ways to sustain stuff. I think that's one of the things.
It'd be kind of cool if you had like a wind turbine installed in the front, and as it goes around, it charges the battery.
Yeah.
So you're riding around, and it just kind of.
I wonder why street lights haven't adopted some sort of solar panel on top of some of them.
I don't know. I've seen something like that on the west side of the country,
Yeah.
like places like Arizona and
Where it's
stuff like that.
always one type of, it's consistent
Yeah,
as
it's
for
good,
weather-wise,
yeah.
right? So, yeah, it's probably easier to adopt those. And I bet you there's probably some test pilot cities, I call them, that are probably experimenting with
Oh,
some
yeah.
stuff like that.
like a yeah. Have you ever heard of like you know how like they used to have yuppies? You remember
Hmm.
the ever yuppies?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know how they have HUD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like they were talking about planned like a planned community. They called it a PUD,
Mm-hmm.
planned urban development.
Right. 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 Okay.
So it's kind of like th- that. There's a city in Georgia that's a PUD,
Mm-hmm.
and they have golf cart trails all through the city.
So
And
it
so
was specifically designed to
yes,
try this out.
specifically designed. It would connect to. It would take the back roads
Mm-hmm.
to the grocery store, to the movie theater, to the
Hmm.
all of that. All the shopping centers had these little trails, and it would go
That
in
sounds
and out
awesome.
of
That
them.
sound like could you even walk on them, or is it just made
Yeah,
for
you can
those?
walk
Okay.
on them.
That sounds
Yeah,
good. I
and
like that.
what's interesting too is that the city also incorporated a police force that is specifically for the golf
Patrolling
course.
those,
Yeah, so
yes.
you can actually, they have radar, and they're like,
Hmm.
they can.
I can see the police force using like ATVs or something that's a little quicker than the golf cart. So that
Yeah,
way,
they have that.
you know,
The double supercharger, and then
hmm,
twin turbos.
that would be cool.
The Mustang version of the golf cart.
Oh, they got even these recreational
Like-
vehicles that are kind of they're the same size as a golf cart, but they got a Jeep outfitting to them that they look
Oh
like
yeah,
mini
yeah.
Jeeps.
Have you seen
I
those?
want
Like
to
the
get on
razor,
those.
like the
Yeah,
razors.
I want to get on one of those. They
Dude.
look so fun for like just being
Okay, so
touristy. You know.
so when I lived in Texas, and I don't know if they have them here.
Hmm.
If you know of a place where you can rent those things,
Oh yeah, it looks fun.
because I mean,
like
$12,000 isn't my deal of just buying one of those things
Right.
and going out. You know what I mean? But those razors are awesome.
It's like an adult Hot Wheels.
It's basically what it is. It's like a what is dune buggy.
Yeah,
A
they
mini
look
dune
cool.
buggy.
Man, I've always wanted to be in a dune buggy too.
Actually, there's parts of this state
Mhm.
where they're legal on the road.
Really?
They have actually like road tires and signals and everything else, and I've seen people driving them around.
Like I've seen a lot of them like in parades and stuff. Like a lot of them are like
yeah,
trying to promote the 100% ethanol, so they'll get like one of these little vehicles,
Yeah.
and they just kind of convert it over to use the 100% ethanol, and they're always scooting back
yeah,
and
scooting
forth.
around. Yeah, I mean it's cool because that kind of technology is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you are just traveling from here to the grocery store, why take out your super V8 double
Right.
charger, supercharger, Mustang, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why want to do that when you can take something like a razor,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
that is cool. That'd be fun.
Can you imagine? I mean, all right, so I know your son already loves to drive.
Oh yeah, he loves it. I mean, ever since like he's only like not even 2 yet, but
Yeah.
even way before.
Yeah.
It seemed like even before he was 1, he just had an interest in steering
Vehicles,
wheels
yeah.
and vehicles.
That's
So
cool.
who knows what he? Maybe one day he'll be in the Platte County Fair at the demolition derby or something. you know. That would be pretty cool to sponsor him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would do it if he wanted to.
He's awesome.
I think it'd be fun to just, as a project, get a beat up car, like
Yeah.
a cheapo, and just say, well,
There's
we're gonna
plenty
beat,
out there.
We're just gonna beat this up even more. Yeah, you can go in that derby. you
There's
know?
plenty out there.
There
There's
is.
I've seen so many, I've seen some for like $250.
Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah, but I mean, because of the money that you pour into it, obviously
Oh,
is
yeah.
A lot more than
It's-
$250.
yeah, it'd be a good bonding thing, just to beat a
You
project.
should let him start wrenching.
He does. I did have him do a little bit of that, and he does. I think he's gonna be like one of those guys that he's gonna be involved in the trades and
Just wrenching.
doing stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
kids definitely have an interest in how things work, and they're always inspecting stuff. But he takes things a step further. But I know when I was little, I was just always involved in breaking things. I'm glad he isn't in that stage yet.
You know what
Just wanted to break stuff.
It's interesting you said that because me as a kid, I would take all of my toys apart.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
I would do the same thing and try to put them back together, and I'm like,
Sometimes
it don't work.
That's actually how I got pretty good at computer stuff. Is like,
Oh yeah,
you know, all the upgrades and things that kept on coming out so fast. I was always
just trying to
taking apart my tower and taking the old one out, putting the new one in, and then the new graphic cards came out, so I take that one out. It got good at doing that.
You know what's really cool though, because like you mentioned that the basically the desktop, right? Mm-hmm. It's just so modular now.
Oh yeah, now
it's incredible. As long as you have the motherboard, you can just swap stuff out,
and it's
so much powerful.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now. Now everything is just snap. You like just
snap everything in there, bam.
Yeah, back in the day, it's like you had all these little screws and you had to be very careful. I mean,
now they're just the.
Now you don't even have to. It
seems like you don't even have everything in.
It seems like you don't even have to ground yourself anymore because we used to have those little bracelets that you had to wear, and then you had to put it on the ground just to mess with stuff. You probably still need to do it, but it seems nowadays it's just the risk to damage something is so minimized.
The only thing you got to worry about now is that you don't crimp the ribbon connector.
Right.
That's it. You don't snap the tongs that are the things that are those sticking up.
And most of the stuff right now, there's not too many crimps or things. Like things are so modular and snap in place, like you said, that it's already kind of routed through the motherboard. You just plug stuff in now. There's hardly
amazing.
anything to clip. It seems like
nowadays it's like you can, it was not thinkable back in the day of saying that you have 1 terabyte worth of hard drive. This is just 10 years ago.
Right.
No one would think, a terabyte. Oh my gosh, that's so much. Nowadays, just forget it. You have got 3 or 4 terabytes.
When you look at like the value of money, like inflation and stuff, if you compare that to like keyboard, like like the Nintendo, the first Nintendo that came out was like only 16-bit, 8-bit.
Yeah.
That game, I guess, compared to the games now, when you look at the price range of what was back then to now, you were paying a lot of money for a game that was only like, didn't even really fit on a disc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now the games are like 1 to 5 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Back then, if you compare, you could have like 1,000 games from that old system because they don't really hold that much space.
No.
So
but they were fun games.
They were, yeah.
I mean, I think almost like going
those simplicity of a game is a lot better than.
Yeah, because see, Minecraft. Look, who would have thought Minecraft? I'm like, oh, come on, Minecraft.
And Minecraft didn't even, like we talked about this before. Minecraft don't even need to be HD because you're taking HD graphics, but you're making it look old.
Yeah, I know.
So they could have just went with a 16-bit Minecraft, but I guess the world of Minecraft is so huge that you probably need that space. But still, the concept of it is you.
I mean, it's like Legos, right? It's like.
And they have really expanded Minecraft to add multiplayer capability to it now, and all these weird like party games that you can use to play. Yeah, they've really done a lot with that.
It's so cool. I mean,
that just the thought of that was more of a sandbox type program. Like, I don't even think it was really meant to be a game. It was just more of an open world sandbox.
It's like controlling your.
But then all of a sudden, it just turned into like something that people really like because of the creativity that you can do with it, right?
You can create worlds.
Yeah, like replicas of areas, and people can like come together to try to recreate. Yeah, I think they did like this Enterprise, Star Trek type thing one time. A whole bunch of people got together and just created this like ship.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing to see, I don't know if there's it'd make a great calendar, by the way. Have a Minecraft calendar of all the creative things that have been made. Like,
real things that have been
like
made.
a Death Star or, something that would be kind of cool.
The future engineers, I could see, reading a resume from somebody that was born in that generation when Minecraft came out to the future. And I could see like in one of the headings, started out playing Minecraft, creating
Worlds.
replica of the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge.
So having like a portfolio, a Minecraft portfolio.
And it just shows like how his mind was or her mind was back then to help them develop into their career of creating futuristic real life projects. You know what I mean? That's just like the building block. Like, you ever heard of the term where, I guess you never played with Legos when you're little, when somebody does something silly or doesn't have that common sense, they're like, "Oh, you didn't play with Legos when you're little." You know what I mean?
I don't
remember the Lincoln Logs.
I remember Lincoln Logs.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs is the same concept. I remember those things.
What was the other one? The other one with the screws in it. What was that one?
Technic or?
No, I remember the there was that one where you can build cranes and stuff with it. It's like made of metal. I forget the name of it.
I can picture the commercial in my head.
And then
I've actually seen.
Yeah. I forgot the name of it.
Like if we still had a Toys R Us or a KB toy stores, you guys would probably be more familiar with it. But Toys R Us has gone out of business. So
I just think that talking about Toys R Us, I mean, they could have done so many things.
They could have. I think that what they needed to do was create a user experience for their store. Yeah. Kind of like, everybody loves to go to Nebraska Furnish Mart because it's just a big place, but they got everything on display. Experience. And, it's just like a fun place to go to check out stuff. Well, I remember when I was little going to like a KB toy store.
Yeah.
And just being in awe when I stepped in, right? Because it was just like everything was on display. You can touch, feel, and everything. And you got an experience as a kid going in there. Toys R Us.
Whatever happened to KB Toys?
I'm not sure. I think they probably did the same thing as Toys R Us, but Toys R Us, I remember the most recent time I went to it before it went down, there really wasn't a user experience. It was almost like they just stocked the stuff on the shelves.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was like a grocery store. Like you just walk between aisles, but there was no big displays. There was no lights and things to make you just want to go there. And
because I think if they had they done something like futuristic, like something like the Apple Store, right?
Right.
Had like the toys where, like, have the store where you can sit and experience the toys, right?
Right.
But then have a portal to start
their online.
Yeah. And just start
done that.
ordering. Hey, this is a great toy. Oh man, let me bring in my granddaughter. Let her play with it and see which ones she likes, and then order it right there. Have like the kiosk to start ordering it.
There's so many places that just didn't innovate. I think
Yeah.
or just got
because
got overwhelmed or just didn't invest into that type of thing for the future.
I think for the future, if there's another toy company deciding to do something, number one, I would do that, right? Have like the store user experience, and they can play with all the toys, and you could even have the manufacturers and vendors come in and sample and be a place where they can test their toys out. Because that would a better place, right? Instead of having these adults play with these toys, have the kids play with them.
Kind of like the Legoland, right?
Yeah, like Legoland.
You charge a fee, the kids come in, unlimited amount of Legos that they can play with, unlimited amount of time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, before the kids leave, they make sales of selling individual bricks.
Because then you can do like your R&D. Say, for example, you have a new doll, for example. It's like, oh, this is great. We had a manufacturer develop this. We'll bring in like 100 of these, bring them over to the store, try them out, and if they fall apart, we know now that this was not going to work.
Right.
We need to go back to the manufacturer and say specifically, the head falls off. And it's shocking for the kid. Yeah. Can we fix that instead of it being, let's modify it a little bit so the head stays on secure. You know what I mean?
It's like a testing.
Yeah.
And then the thing for the consumer is they got to come in and play with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And all they're required to do is give maybe some feedback on the thing they just played with. Or they liked it so much, would you like to order this before you go home and
like
get it in 2 days?
like I think with like American Doll, right? The American Doll thing was huge. What, maybe 5 years ago?
There's a user experience when
Yeah.
the kids went in there.
Yeah, and
I
I think
mean,
you could do the same thing.
some of those dolls, their haircut was more than it cost me to get a haircut.
Yeah,
I mean, they had their own little salon back there,
Yeah.
and they had actual real
yeah,
people that knew how to cut hair,
Yeah.
cutting the hair, doll's
well,
hair.
because like okay, it's like Disney, an example, right? If they want to have like the princess experience, oh
Oh.
my gosh,
yeah,
you can go in there thinking, okay, maybe $100. Then the next thing you know, you've got your princess all decked out, and you're dishing out $500-$600,
yeah.
easy.
Just like Build-A-Bear, right? You go in there, if you just get the bear, you can get one really cheap stuff.
Yeah.
But once you get in there and you start customizing and
Sure.
creating their heartbeat,
Yeah.
and then one thing adds on to
Yeah.
another, now you're, $10 bear all of a sudden
Yeah.
ends up being $50.
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah,
know?
that's easy.
Yeah. But if you can discipline yourself, you can actually get good deals on
think
just
it's
getting
a-
a bear.
Can
know?
you imagine that for a huge conglomerate of a toy store? Huge business.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still kids are still playing with toys, but you don't have that availability right now
Right.
to. I mean, because then they end up playing video games.
Like, I like going into the Microsoft store because they let you go in there and play with the latest game
Yeah.
on there, and they don't say a word. They even sometimes
Yeah.
have these events where you come in and have like mini tournaments on certain games,
Yeah.
for free. So you create this community,
Yeah.
and you create kind of like a club, and
Yeah.
then that establishes loyalty later.
Right. Right.
So I think that is the disconnect in a lot of things. Is a lot of people became disconnected with certain brands
Sure.
and certain things, and
Because, nowadays, here's what I would do if I were like something building up a retail facility. I would have that user experience.
it's all about user.
Like
Even
they do
web
the-
pages,
Yeah.
they're
the
geared
test
toward
market.
user experience.
And then I wouldn't stock anything. I'd have everything taken over to like Amazon. And then
Yeah.
you can order it. My logo and my stuff will still be on there,
Mhm.
but it would be fulfilled by Amazon.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that now. I mean, a lot of side hustles right now are based on not even creating your own business per se, but
Yeah.
it's like going to clearance racks and
Yeah.
buying that entire rack and reselling.
Yeah.
I mean, this-
absolutely.
A lot of the Amazon side hustles has turned into
Like a major business.
a major business for other people to get into
Yeah.
easily because you're finding the deals on your own. It's more like a barter system now. You're like
Yeah.
trading goods, like in a
Yeah.
way. You're looking at different locations for the lowest price, knowing that
Yeah.
over here people will buy it because deals are only in certain areas. Like
Yeah.
my example, like if I go to Kohl's, my Kohl's is clearancing this item out, but the Kohl's in another state
Yeah.
isn't.
Right.
So,
So the cost comparison,
the,
your savings.
the internet is bringing those
And-
bargains to people, or
Yeah.
keeping the same price because nobody knows of a sale in your area.
I mean,
you know what
like,
I mean?
Because like the internet has changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, even like hiring and firing people. Well, whatever. It's just it has evolved into a point of what is your experience and what can you do via the internet. How can you now propel your career by utilizing the internet and also optimizing your knowledge based on what you know of the internet. I mean, it's just almost to the point where people will, like, if they're doing the hiring, first thing they do is like check you out on Facebook to see what kind of posts you've got.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back.
All right. So we had a minor, I don't know,
Like-
interruption somehow.
Yeah,
But
like
in
earthquake.
in the event that it doesn't continue to record or whatever, we'll just go ahead and say, P.S. Good morning,
10-4.
10-4, over. And can I say out? Because
I would say out.
we're gonna dish you and out and
Out.
and out. So, another awesome sky. So I guess we'll do a little snippet of that real fast,
Yeah, let's do that.
if
That's
I
kind
can.
of cool.
Right.
Flip it over. Remember?
did this last
yeah, we
time,
did
yeah.
last time. It flipped up. Yeah, you can't do
Oh
it
well. Anyway, I'll probably take a snapshot of that and add it to the
to the
ending. That's pretty neat.